And thanks for tuning in to Fashion Talk. This is Wine Down Wednesday. You know what? You gotta get your wine glass. We want you to sit back and relax because we have a special guest on here tonight. And it's a serious topic. It's domestic violence. And domestic violence can go both ways, both men and it could be a woman.
True.
So we want you to listen. We want you to have a open mind, and we want you to understand where our guest is coming from. And right now, I'm gonna introduce my guest, Mr. Fame Juice.
Hey, it's your boy Fame Juice back at it one more time for the bloop bloop. You know what I'm saying?
Blue.
What's the bloop bloop?
It is just
It's like a drop, ain't it? Like a drop. Blue, blue.
something like that. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
educate me, because I'm a little square.
So bloop bloop. I've been saying it since I was a kid. Like,
Okay.
So I can't really say where it started at, but I'm telling you, it's been a great experience for the last 30 some odd years.
So you've coined it. So if I say
Yeah.
bloop bloop, I got to give you credits then, right?
Nah, you can. Everybody can say bloop bloop. You know,
Bloop, bloop.
It just so happened that was my thing to do. You know, so I really love to say bloop bloop, especially when I'm happy. You know,
Okay.
so and things like saying bloop bloop takes me to a happy place. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have our special guest on, Miss Famous Chris Styles.
Thank you.
And we want to thank you for stopping in the Fashion Talk. This a
You're welcome.
real guest. You know, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate
It's
that.
famous out
I
there.
appreciate that.
So thank you for stopping in.
Yeah, I've been checking you out. Your platform is cool, and any opportunity that I get to talk about what we're going to talk about, knowing that it's going to help somebody else, it's like I'm there Johnny on the spot. So
Alrighty.
I appreciate the invitation.
And
Thank you.
Thank you. So let's talk. Let's jump in and talk about it. Let's talk
Okay.
about
Where does
domestic violence and how you got started with your project.
Okay, so I launched the Cassie Project, which is a non-traditional healing initiative for survivors of sexual and domestic abuse. And Cassie is an acronym. It's KASSIE, and it stands for Keeping All Survivors Safe, Informed, and Emancipated. And I know, I've seen you with your girls, and, I'm pretty sure the Bloop Bloop has friends, that he's aces with, right? So I had a girlfriend like that, Cassandra. And the thing is, we used to talk about everything, so I thought. But when Cassandra turned up dead by the hands of her boyfriend, Tony, she was a victim of domestic violence, and I didn't know. So at that time, it was kind of like this thing where I was angry at her for not talking to me about it, but I was angry at myself for not sharing about my past of sexual violence. I was raped as a child, and then molestation, and then the cycle just continued from there. So me not knowing about her and her not knowing about me, what I determined was that there was too much silence. There were too many secrets. We weren't talking about the things that we needed to be talking about.
So do you think that as a girlfriend, people judge you for the things that happen in your life?
I think that there's a lot of victim blaming when it comes to survivors of sexual and domestic abuse. I came up in an era where, what happens in this house stays in this house, and it also an era where, you were being fast, you shouldn't have been wearing that skirt, you shouldn't have been hanging with the boys. So when I did say something about what happened to me, it was my fault, which sent me to a place where I wasn't telling anybody else because nobody was gonna believe me. And then I started to believe it was my fault. So yeah, it's a hard place to be. Even though you make it through whatever that violence is, when people are pointing the finger at you, in your mind, you're just like, you know what? It was my fault. There must be something wrong with me. And then for me, I had like a brand on my forehead that said assault me, rape me, beat me, whatever the case was.
Jeez.
But then I also felt like that's all I was good for, that was supposed to be my story and my journey. But now, here we are many, many, many moons later, and I know better.
Tell me your story now.
Tell you, oh, you want my story?
I want to know your story now.
We ain't got enough time for that.
Tell me a
but
little bit. Just give it one thing about especially sexual assault and just domestic violence, like even for little kids, like I pray so much for these little kids at home who have to deal with their parents for all of these hours with frustration and dealing with homeschooling and stuff like that.
During the pandemic.
Yes, and it's like people tempers so short.
Oh, yeah.
And then school is their only way to get away. You know,
Yeah,
recreation
yeah.
centers, or you know, and just like to be able to, like, you're a survivor, but like right now, like how long did it take you to get to where you at right now?
I would not have publicly said that that I was sodomized at 5. That all the things that happened to me, I never would have said that 10 years ago, not on a public platform. But knowing that Cassandra had to give her life for me to be honest with myself, I'm in a different place. And healing is a ongoing process. It doesn't happen overnight. We should have had tissue on the set because it's going to be a wet one. I'm just saying. But process is day in, and healing is day in and day out.
Right.
And the work that I do with survivors, it helps me heal in my journey. So I'm not trying to be selfish, but I admit whenever I am able to share or have an opportunity for a survivor to share with me, for someone to trust me with that, to share their stories. I've had 76-year-old women on my couch saying, I've never told anybody about what happened to me.
So I do have something to share. My mom was a victim of domestic violence, rape, and it was at the hands of her dad, which is so sad. My grandmother died when she was, my mom was 14, and it was 4 of them siblings, and they got passed around from family to family. And unfortunately, for some reason, my granddad thought it was okay to have his friends have her sit on their lap and they play with her. And my mom shared this with me when she was older. And I couldn't understand how my grandfather, who told us that he loved us all the time, that he would allow this to happen to my mom. And this really took a really toll on her life.
Of course, yeah.
I just couldn't imagine being put in a situation like that and being taken advantage of and not being able to say nothing.
And we not even know. You know, I don't know how young she was at that time, but we don't even know that we've been victimized. And as we go through our lives, we hear other people's stories. And you're like, I didn't realize that when my babysitter did this to me, that they were molesting me. I didn't realize that when my brother did this, that it was wrong. And the problem is, hurt people hurt people. So I don't know what the grandfather's story was. I have no idea. And I am not justifying that behavior or even that thought process. But at the same time, if you grow up and someone's doing that to you, then you're like, oh, this is okay. So when you get to a point and there's someone else that you can do it to, you're like, well, I'm going to do this to them because it was okay because somebody did it to me. And then the cycle continues. But that's the problem. The cycle, the generational cycle of abuse. The problem is victims, survivors, like ourselves, have not healed. And if we don't heal, we can't educate. And if we don't educate, then our sons and our daughters, nieces and nephews are going to come up not knowing what the signs are. They're not going to know what to look for. They're not going to know what to run from. They're not going to know that they can use their voice and say, no, don't touch me. And that they can tell and that somebody's going to believe them.
Well, I've always told my daughter and my granddaughters, it's places that people don't touch. And it's your breast. It's your private area, and it's your butt. I've always told them, if somebody touched you there, you are to tell me right away.
Yes.
Tell me right away, because I need to know. And don't be ashamed about it. but tell me.
I mean, honestly, it's even further than that. Like the guy or the lady who feels like it's okay to just rub you on your leg or
Your lower
rub
back.
you on your like
Yep.
it's
Yep.
other places other than that, like where they earn your trust and you start feeling more comfortable with these people. Like the thing about molestation is so sad because in the neighborhood that I grew up in, the child molesters and the guys who dated the younger girls, they
Pedophiles.
are at this time are considered OGs. But in my eyes,
Wow.
they'll never be that. Those are the guys who never got drug about their houses. Like, you know, those are the guys who even, and like you said, victims hurt. I mean, hurt people hurt people. Some of these guys, they just took advantage as well, though. You know, because I've seen it. I mean. It's such a hard subject to talk about because, like you said, what stays in this house.
What happens in this house stays in this house.
That's what it used to be.
And it's still like that. People always saying it's my bit. Like a parent to tell a child, "Oh, you telling my business" or whatever. Like I don't live by that. Like you tell me
That's
everything.
crazy.
If
I
you
hate
can't
that.
tell me, you tell somebody. I don't care if you got to pull. If these people got to pull me out my job, pull me out my job because I'm not gonna. It's so hard. It's so many layers to peel back on because it's so rooted. Even women dealing with younger boys, like in your mind, when you're young, you think it's so cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you think it's the most amazing thing in the world.
Wow.
And then I'm 17 and I got a baby on the way, and my son started getting older. And people start saying, I'm like, whoa, don't say my son's sexy. Like, I don't like that. It was like, oh, what's wrong with you? Like, you hurt or something? Like, I'm like, no, I just don't want you calling my son
That's
that. But
inappropriate.
then it's a trigger.
Yeah.
It's a trigger. Like, don't say that because I don't want my son going through those same cycles, you know? And it's deep because men, they're afraid to speak on it. Then you think it's something wrong with you if you saying, oh, well, this lady did this to me. Like, oh, because it wasn't a guy. It's still wrong.
And guys like to joke about it. Oh, I wish somebody molested me. I wish, a woman took advantage of me. And the problem is you don't understand. You don't understand how that affects us year after year and how it affects us when we're bringing up our children. You mentioned two things that I wanted to touch on. We were talking about where to touch, good touch, bad touch, right? Pedophiles, or I won't even say pedophiles, I'm sorry, perpetrators, that's the word I wanted. Perpetrators will test their boundaries. So even say we were hanging out at the club and this guy was trying to get close to you and he's buying you drinks, he's getting you to that point, and then he'll rub your back and he'll move his hand down or he'll make some inappropriate joke. He's testing his boundaries like, oh yeah, she's an easy one, I'm gonna get this. So young women, you have to be mindful of what's happening in your surroundings. And if you're out with your girls or you're hanging out with your guys or your guy cousins or whatever the case may be, you need to know what is happening in the mind of a perpetrator. And then, oh my gosh, I know I was gonna forget. You said something else that I wanted to make a point about.
I do want to say that in the bars too, young ladies, that the new thing is to put these Mollies or ecstasies in your drink without you even knowing.
Oh, that ain't new.
So
they've been doing that forever.
Say forever.
They've been doing that
But
for a long time.
Be careful when you leave your drink because it could be something in your drink, and that's an easy way for a perpetrator to take advantage of you.
And if you smoke weed, it's legal, whatever the case may be, but be careful who you share with because they could lace that with some of any and everything, and the next thing you know, you're waking up, don't know where you are, let alone who you are or what happened to you the night before. So just be mindful of what you're doing. Everything ain't happy, easy, go lucky. It's not like that, and it's not safe. It's not safe.
And you don't have to apologize. Like, it's so crazy how people feel like they're gonna hurt somebody's future because they think that this person made a mistake. You can forgive whatever, but you do not let up. You make your voice loud. Don't care. I don't care if it's your daddy. I don't care if it's your brother. I don't care if it's your cousin.
Right.
I don't care if it's your next door neighbor. And the mother is one of the biggest philanthropists in the world. You got to speak your mind.
Yes.
Like, don't be afraid. If you need it, hit me up. Because I will march to their house and I will let it be known and sit outside their house and let everybody know that they're a molester.
Yes.
Like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
it's just, you gotta, and the people who silent, who act like they turn a blind eye to this stuff, you are just as wrong as the perpetrator.
Yes. It's not about what goes on in the house stays in the house. No, that's not right. That's not right. Those days are over.
One of the things that I like to say when I do talk to younger people, because I educate in the schools as well, around violence prevention and bystander intervention, is your silence, when you're quiet, when you don't say anything, you are protecting the perpetrator. You are telling that perpetrator, oh, she didn't say anything, so I'm either going to get her again or him again. I'm going to get them again, or I can do it to somebody else. So your silence is protecting that person who's going to continue. You're going to be broken down the rest of your life. You're going to have pain festering from the inside, guilt and shame, and all that stuff happening in your world because you didn't use your voice to protect yourself and to protect those around you. So don't be silent because you're protecting the perpetrator. And that, I'm not blaming you, and I understand because I've been silent for years, but just know, don't protect that perpetrator. Say it. Your voice is your power.
So when you talk about the Cassie Project,
Yes.
The young lady, was her name Cassie?
Her name was Cassandra, and I called her Cassie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was killed by Tony Ringer.
Ooh, I didn't even say his last name. She know her stuff.
She was actually pregnant at the time.
Yes.
Am I correct?
We were pregnant at the same
And
time.
this guy was a prominent businessman downtown. So no one would believe that he would have killed her.
Ball players put up money for his bail.
Because she was pregnant?
No, ball players put up money. Yeah, he killed her because she was pregnant and he was engaged to somebody else and was supposed to be on this whole celibacy thing. But she thought she was the fiance. But ball players put up money. Yes, ball players put up money for his bail. Like Tony couldn't have done it. And the night I got the call, I was due. My baby was due. So I ended up delivering 3 days later. But the night I got the call, I kept saying Tony, and they're like, no, Tony's helping us look for her. You know, Tony's here at the police station with us, blah, 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 blah. So it was really hard for me. I was very angry because nobody believed me because Tony was supposed to be this good, upstanding citizen who owned his own business and cut the hairs of celebrities and all these people. And
so you knew right away what it was, even though your friend didn't tell you.
I knew because that day we talked and she told me she was pregnant. And I was like, you know, why would you get pregnant by Tony? Last time you had a pregnancy, it was ectopic, and the doctor said if you get pregnant again within a year, it could kill you. It did kill her, but not in the way that the doctor said it would. But she told me, she said, I'm going to go tell Tony tonight, I'm going to take him the ultrasound at Bible study, mind you. I said, do you want me to go with you? She was like, no, I'll call you in the morning. Because she was calling me every day to see if I was going into labor. And she was like, no, I'll call you in the morning. And when that call never came, you know, and then her cousin, who had never called me before, called me, and she was like, I need you to be someplace safe. I need you to be sitting down, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what's going on? You know, did she have a car accident? Blah, 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 blah. And they're like, they found her. And I'm like, found her what? And her little girl was in the backseat asleep.
Oh, Jesus.
Woke up December 21st and had to climb over her mother's dead body to get out the car because there were childproof locks on the door, and she couldn't get out. And she couldn't wake up her mom. And I was angry and hurt because I wanted to be with her that night. I wanted to tell her, you know, I wanted to be there for her. But she said, no, I'll call you in the morning. And she never called. It's not. If you trust somebody, be honest and tell them what is going on. I had no idea it was going to get to the point where he was going to shoot her in the head because she wanted to have his baby. Ladies, if he's hurting you, getting pregnant and having a baby is not going to change anything. It's not going to change anything. Love does not hurt.
Love does not hurt. That's true.
But at this point, she was murdered in 2000. We just celebrated
I guess you can say I don't know if you say a memorial is a celebration, whatever. We just held a memorial for the 20-year anniversary of her death. He gets out next year and was scheduled to get out on her birthday, but her mom petitioned it, so he's getting out 3 days before her birthday. It took me 12 years to launch the organization, but the one good thing I can say is that the couches that we have these big white couches that we take to the Survivor Safe Place. Those couches have hundreds of signatures from survivors and supporters and people who have lost loved ones because of sexual and domestic abuse. So I've been able to be there for a lot of people like us, but it's still not gonna bring her back. So I just need you guys to be educated on the signs and the stigmas and the side effects, because psychologically, I've been jacked up for years. I'm not even gonna lie, I can say that. I've been jacked up for years, and it's taken a long time for me to get to this point. But I'm thankful that I am healing and I'm able to educate. And on the low, because I didn't heal earlier, one of my children was raped by their father. Oh my God, I didn't silence my phone. I am so sorry. But it's because I didn't say anything. I thought I was being protective, but when you send somebody to their grandparents' house, you don't think something like that's gonna happen. Just like you were talking about your grandfather. So, to teach your babies, I don't care how old they are, talk to them, learn the signs. Yeah, so, yes.
And listen to your babies. Listen to your babies.
Yes.
You gotta pay attention. Like, I think a lot of people are so wrapped up in television and Facebook that they don't listen.
They don't listen.
They're like, shut up, go, like.
And they don't believe.
Your children literally tell you everything. It might not come to you how you think it is, but they tell you.
Their behavior changes,
everything,
their
yeah.
grades drop, they don't want to be with friends, they're ashamed of their bodies. It's just all types of things. Talk to your children, and when they tell you, we don't make this shit up. We ain't making it up. It's real. Believe your baby. And if you ever tell your child that you don't believe them, that's all it takes for them to downward spiral the rest of their lives, from drinking, becoming promiscuous, all those things can stem from having been abused.
Because I will say this, children, for some reason, like, they think they can get away with certain things, but they know. In my mind, I always just thought my mom knew everything. So the things that my parents or my family didn't pay attention to, I was angry, because if you knew I snuck some cookies, you should know there's something wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that's kind of why children don't say anything. I think in their mind, like, you already know. You know me. You know me. And as a teenager, and that's another thing, like, living in a society and dealing with being a teenager, going from the age of 11 all the way up to 17 alone is the hardest time. I mean, even as an adult, I still can't get over from the age of 11 to 17, because it's crazy. You have to, you're trying to fit in. You are so insecure, and you are forcing yourself to look secure, and then you turn into this adult, and you like, man, where do I go from here? What do I do?
What happens now? Yeah.
What happened when you started breaking your silence? Like,
So when I launched the organization, I didn't talk about my story a lot. I talked about Cassie's story. That's what I put out there. And I felt like mine wasn't as important. I minimized, which we shouldn't do. Right. I minimized my trauma in order to help others and educate them through her story, when honestly my story was just as impactful. My trauma, your trauma, is just as impactful as the next person's, and everybody deals with their trauma differently. One of the things I did want to share, you talked about your mom being passed out from family member to family member. Same, I didn't grow up with my biological parents. And when I was sodomized at 5, my father had just picked me up because he got remarried. He had just picked me up and moved me to another state. Well, my stepbrother, when he did what he did, he told me that if I said anything to my dad, that my dad would send me back away and I would never be with him again. So at that point, I never said anything because I wanted to be with my daddy, whose birthday is today.
Happy birthday,
But
Daddy.
he passed away in 14, but yeah.
My condolences.
But but he told me if I said anything that my dad would send me away, so I kept silent. And he did whatever he wanted to me, and that was that journey. Fortunately, I had to move back here with my grandma when my uncle passed away. But perpetrators will tell your children anything to keep their secrets. So just watch your children and recognize their behaviors. If they have a drastic change in their personality or their routines or anything, talk to them. You have to let your kids know that they can trust you. You can't always be a threat. I understand discipline, but your children have to know that they can trust you with any and everything. So, yeah. Please.
And talking is not, parents always got something to say. They know it all. Shut up. Let your children talk. Don't ask them. And then when they start talking, don't ask them, is it something you did or whatever. Let them keep talking. They're going to tell you, I promise. The more you cut them off, the less they're going to tell you. The more you jump in and say this or, why didn't you tell me? I'm telling you now. Just be quiet. And the reason why I say shut up is because people don't understand the words be quiet. You know, I might tell you something and then all of a sudden you want to tell me, and I care about what you go through, you know, like, so if I tell you what's wrong with me, give me a chance to get it all out before you say, oh, well, yeah, this is what happened. I feel like this is what's wrong. It's not about what you feel now because it already happened. You need to know all the details that I can remember because it gets worse over time.
Black people, it's okay to go to therapy. Send your children to therapy. You go get therapy. Yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
And that's what I was saying when I asked you about breaking your silence. Like, how did it start feeling like when you started being able to get...
This is therapy for me.
Okay.
This is my therapy, you know? So I'm grateful to have been invited to your platform to speak on these things because not everybody follows me on social media. Not everybody knows who I am. But this cause, domestic violence, sexual assault, rape, has been around for generations and generations. You know about that.
So tell everybody what your platform is so that if they want to follow you, they can.
Okay, so you can find me on Facebook. It's KHRYS Styles, like hairstyles, and then it's The Cassie Project, KASSIE. But if you Google either one of us, you'll be able to find us. And we do have videos of survivors who have shared their journeys and their stories. If you just need that type of support and to see that there is life after abuse because you're not alone. So it's iamcassie.org.
And I also know that when there are organizations like yours, especially when people don't feel comfortable just dealing, like, I know that y'all give out extra information, like
resources and such.
Resources.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there a phone number or
Yeah. Some people just call me because they need to talk. Victims, survivors, sometimes they just want somebody to listen to them. So that number is 513-400-5896. That's 513-400-5896.
I do want to say that I've been a victim of domestic violence.
I'm sorry you went through that.
I've worked with Women Helping Women, and I've worked with the YWCA. And the YWCA has been very, very supportive. Veronica Perez, she has been the best person, the best resource, confident. She's somebody that if you are having that issue, you can call. I do have a book and a play that's coming out by the end of the year.
Yay! I love it.
Thank you. And it's very difficult. It's very difficult in telling people about your journey and how you've survived and how you overcame your situation. And I could tell you, if it wasn't for putting together this Divine Lux clothing and the fashion talk, I don't know where I would be, because this is my outlet.
Yeah.
This is my way of giving back, of relieving my anxiety from what I've been through.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't know what I've been through, but I've been through And I've made it.
You are
And
here.
by the grace of God, I'm still here.
Yes, we are. And it's a blessing.
And Cassandra's not. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just awful that people can't control their self and control their anger and control. They want to control you. So they want to control everything that's happening around you. She was pregnant with her child, and for no reason her life was taken away because they was not getting the satisfaction that they wanted.
He wanted what he wanted.
Their cake and ice cream and eat it too. And it's very sad.
So just know the signs. If someone you love is in a domestic violence situation, they're not going to leave because you told them. They have to recognize for themselves that that situation is unhealthy and toxic. But be there, listen to them, provide support. And on the slide, if you need to show them some videos from the Cassie Project, you're like, hey, I saw this video where someone else is expressing the same sort of things that that person's gone through. You know, just slide it to them. But you're not going to be able to force anybody to leave. It's never going to happen. Thank you.
Hold on. Can you stop it real quick?
Let's talk about what is domestic violence. What is the definition? What is domestic violence?
So domestic violence is a form of power-based personal violence. Yes, there are many types like child abuse, sexual assault, and elderly abuse and things like that. But domestic violence, which is now called intimate partner violence, IPV,
Is it really?
It is.
I know that.
The thing about that is people, when you say domestic violence, they instantly think someone's hitting you, someone's physically abusing you. But narcissists, which I recently broke up with one, but we won't talk about that. Narcissists have a way of mentally controlling you. Domestic violence can be mental, it can be financial, it can be emotional, it can be spiritual. You know, all of those things are ways that any way someone can control you or make you feel like less than, that's domestic violence, intimate partner violence. Like I said, they changed the name. And that's because when you think of domestic violence, you think like a husband and a wife or, you know, people who live together. Intimate partner violence is also a form of dating violence. So you can just be in a relationship with someone, you can be seeing someone, you don't have to live in the same household anymore in order for it to be identified as intimate partner violence.
Wow.
So, yeah, those are some of the things that people don't recognize.
So a person could simply threaten you.
Oh, yeah.
They could threaten you, and that's a form of domestic violence.
Yeah, if it's anything that makes you feel, scared, anything that makes you feel less than, anything that makes you question your value and your worth, that's some form of violence, and it's not okay. If he is telling you that you can't wear those shoes, or you can't go here, or you can't spend time with your friends, if he isolates you, if you get involved and he's like, let's move to Atlanta, just me and you, babe, you know, we gonna do this together, and he's already been hurting you, don't go. Don't, because you may not come back. So there's so many different forms, you know, the financial abuse, controlling your money or taking your paycheck. When people are super aggressive about what you can and cannot do, who you can talk to, where you can go, any of those things. You know, when they insult you, oh, you know you look fat. You don't even need to have that on. You need to stop. That's not okay. They are psyching you up to feel like you are less than. Then when you say you're gonna leave, they're gonna be like, ain't nobody gonna want you. You fat.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody gonna want you. You ugly.
Yes.
You can't go outside without a wig on. I mean, just all those things are ways that people can control you. Those are forms of intimate partner violence. Anything that hurts is some form of intimate partner violence. I promise.
When you talk about
Narcissism, yes.
what is that definition? How do you explain that?
I've never really been able to explain it like the dictionary, but for me, my narcissist had this God complex, as if he was like the best thing that ever happened to me. And he will often tell me that he's the shit. So if he brought me flowers, yeah, I'm the shit, blah, blah, blah. And then he would be dogging me out the next day. He wouldn't talk to me or anything that happened. He never took accountability for his part in anything. So he cheated on me, but it was my fault.
It was your fault.
It was my fault because he cheated on me. Please don't get me started talking about that.
And I understand that.
No,
Like,
because you know, a lot of people don't recognize. You meet someone and you think that this person is for you, but then you see these signs coming up. And
But we think they're love. We think they're love.
What signs is it that make you say, "Oh, no, this is no."
If they, like, what they do is they love bomb you. So if they're love bombing you, either giving you gifts, they're giving you compliments, or you're the best thing that ever happened to me. And then, you know, the next day, the next day,
I love you.
they're somebody else
hold on.
completely.
If I kiss you and I hug you.
No,
But I know, yeah,
They're
I know.
like overly doing it.
Yeah.
You're like,
Love bombing.
The worst thing,
that's something different. That's something different.
Yeah.
That means that's something that you gotta watch out for because something is underlying that behavior.
especially people who always say like, "Oh, I did this for you. I paid all the rent." You know what I'm saying? "Oh, you ain't had a job all COVID, and I'm holding this down." That person ain't for you. You be broke. I'm telling you.
But they love you and they gonna buy you a ring, but then they turn around and say, I can't marry a woman like you because this, that, and the other. What's one thing I was gonna say? Oh my God, I forgot. I know we gotta wrap it up. I'm sorry, I know we gotta wrap it up. But I'm more than willing to come back if you ever need me
Just
to.
say it. What's up?
So,
Yeah. No, honestly, like this is like one of them. This is something that we need to talk about, especially everybody coming out of their hibernation for the last year.
Listen, they said that the domestic violence has been on the uprise.
Yes.
Since COVID.
yes.
Because people,
And so-
the police
because
can't
what?
come. People are sitting in the house together, and I mean, you seeing things that people that you never saw before. Like, oh my God, like this is, like, why are you that angry?
Person.
Like you said, children go to school as an escape. That's their only outlet from the violence that's happening at home. It's the same for individuals. People go to their jobs to get away from all of that stuff. And then they dread going home because they know they're going to walk into a household where someone is going to mistreat them. So, yeah.
So sad.
It's, I mean, there's like there's so many things. There's the National Domestic Violence Hotline that you can call. I'm sorry, I don't know the number off the top of my head, but Google it.
No, we're gonna put it on. As soon as you say it, after that,
sausages. Okay.
it's gonna show the hotline like that, right?
Okay.
Ray John, our director.
The YWCA.
YWCA.
Cincinnati,
our
yeah.
director, he's
Women
so
helping
good.
I know, he's like, if y'all don't wrap it up.
Shout out to Ray John.
This means wrap it up, and we've
All
seen
right.
that a few times. So, yeah.
I think-
But there's
All right.
everything.
I really
You
think
are
he's
welcome, Kim.
I do.
You are welcome, sweetie.
I've known you for years, and when they told me about you doing this project, I wanted to do a project like yours, but I said
It's never too many.
if she's already doing it, I'm just gonna join her bandwagon because I'm not.
I appreciate
gonna,
that.
I don't want to just reinvent the wheel.
Reinvent the wheel. I know, and it's not
So-
easy, but you know, there's so many of us out there, so many survivors out there that any and every platform that offers support. And what a lot of people don't realize, the YWCA, and I love them as an organization, they help people get out of those situations. But a lot of the organizations like Women Helping Women and the rest of them, they don't take in account about our mental stability afterwards. Who's talking about the psychological effects of abuse? Who is focusing on the healing of those survivors? Who is giving them a platform to share their truths? Yeah, you got me a house, but psychologically we are jacked up, and we keep making the same choices because we're not healing. Keep choosing the same type of individual to date. Keep our children in harm's way because we're not healing and we're not telling them that those things that they're experiencing are not okay. Your parents might have gone through it and you thought that was love. Love shouldn't hurt, sweetie.
Yeah.
That ain't how it works. That ain't how it works.
And wanting love is like a drug. Trust me. So giving up on people because they won't leave, or saying, "Oh, like you have to still be there." Like I'm gonna answer my phone. I don't care where you at. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna fight for you. Like I understand that some people just hurt you, and you might be hurt, but you're not the victim. Like you just gotta be the listen to ear. But all right, we gonna come back. Right, we gonna do this again because we gonna do this every season with you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We gotta
Works
make
for
this
me.
happen.
And just for the record, April is National Sexual Violence Awareness Month.
Wow.
So there's something called Take Back the Night. It's an event that happens every year. It's going to be virtual this year, but just Google that, Take Back the Night. In Cincinnati, colleges do it. They do it all across the country, but it's another platform for survivors to use their voices to help others heal and heal themselves. So yes.
Chris, I thank you.
You're welcome.
I really do. Be careful, guys. Watch out for those who don't have your best interests. I mean it. If you think it's not right, it's not right.
Yeah.
And follow your instinct.
Yes, listen to your gut.
Yes.
And we appreciate y'all, and you worth it. Like, fight for you. I got you.
Share,
see
heal,
y'all next time, you know.
Bloop, bloop.
Bloop, bloop.
Thanks for tuning in.
It was really nice meeting you. Thank you. Okay, it's your boy Fame Juice back again
Last Thursday.
with my people from Divine Lux. This is Fashion Fix. It's gonna be a great one for you. You know, we about to jump into the springtime. We're gonna take a little break, and I hope y'all don't miss us too much. We got a lot to show y'all. But we're gonna start off right now with number one. Come on down. Orange is the new black, you know what I'm saying? We see you. One piece looking real nice. What's up with them shoes looking nice, you know what I'm saying? This is number one. So go www.divinelux.com if you want to order this right now. Cash App $DIVINELUX1, and don't forget to put number one in for this outfit right here. Next up, we have a newcomer, number 12. Rocking it out. Gold, black, and white with a little orange shimmery shine. Look at these shoes. They so divine, all right? If you want this is going to be number 12. Cash App, $DIVINELUX, number one. If you want to order this online, www.divinelux.com. Don't forget to order about 5 of them. Next up, we got number 5. She's rocking her all black. Oh, a nice little jacket, you know what I'm saying? So silver and gold, you know what I'm saying? We see her out here. If you want to order this right now, Cash App, $DIVINELUX, number one, and www.DIVINELUX. Next up, our CEO, 8+10. Yeah, I know how we get down. www.divinelux, that's www.divinelux.com. If you want to order that, just put in number 8. If you want to put +10, that's cool too. Shoes looking real good, you know what I'm saying? What's that, the champion? She's champion today, you know what I'm saying? We see you out here doing your thou, you know what I'm saying? Move it on up. Don't forget www.divinelux.com, Cash App, www.divinelux.com, and Cash App $DIVINELUX, number one. And if you want to order that, make sure you put in number 8. And we about to bring our ladies right back out, you know what I'm saying? Starting off, number 1. Number 5. Number 12. Don't forget number 8. +10. Ooh, yeah. Make sure y'all order y'all today. Don't wait till tomorrow, because they might be sold out. This is how we get down. Divine Lux. And these ladies holding it down, you know what I'm saying? Just send them a couple dollars. Y'all can tip on the Cash App too. Tip for number 12, tip for number 5, tip for number 1. Don't tip the CEO because she rich as hell, y'all. Nah, tip the CEO. 8 plus 10. Send her $18. Hey, yo, we gonna see y'all next time. We most definitely appreciate y'all. Well, this is $39 or $41. 39, send $41 because she gonna give me the dollar. You know what I'm saying? There ain't even no more dollar meals out there, is it?
No.
It's a dollar.
They find out, man. Oh, shit.
I ain't with that. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up, y'all. We appreciate y'all. Most definitely enjoy your spring. Do not waste any time. Make sure you're looking good at every moment because the cameras are always out. They always watching. We want to make sure that you're looking divine. And
Just on the street.
you feel me? Bloop, bloop.
Blue, blue.
See y'all again.
It's divine.